Hey guys, today we are going to be analyzing my favorite episode yet, Wishmaker, as well as discussing my theories and thoughts that I took away from this episode. And you guys, as always, before we get into today's video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss the tea on the show you love. Now, let's get into it. So the focus of this episode was all about helping people find their future careers and or pursuing their dreams, to which we learn that neither Adrian or Marinette know what they want to do or see in their future. We even hear Plag ask Adrian, "What do you think of Cat Noir as a career?" Which Adrian goes on to willingly say, "Since Ladybug keeps giving Miraculous out to other holders, one day she probably won't need me anymore." And I was honestly shocked to see how accepting he was of that thought even being possible. But soon after that, we see Alec at the Paris Careers Expo, to which we see Alex filming a show called You Got to Be Kidding. And guys, I was actually so surprised to see how Alec was behaving in this episode, because although we've never really gotten to know him that well, he seems like a pretty nice guy until I saw this. And now, of course, no hate to Alec, I was just surprised to see how badly he wanted to prove people's careers wrong, yet he was the one continuously being proven wrong in the episode. And guys, let's just get into the hot,
sizzling tea
that this episode unveiled that now Luca knows not one, but two identities, Marinette's and Adrian's. And you guys, I have so much to say about this, so many theories, but I just want to point out that this is the first person, at least in the present, to know both of their identities. Of course, Alia knows Marinette's, but in this episode, we really saw how encouraging and supportive Luca is to help Marinette one day be able to express her feelings to Adrian, and the fact that he truly knows now that both of them are made for one another. They are just that compatible. It's insane. And so ultimately, Alec is akumatized in this episode as Wishmaker, and the reason being because when he was younger, he had long hair, but all the kids made fun of him for it, so he ended up letting their thoughts get into his head, and he ended up shaving his whole head just to be good enough for the people that bullied him when he was younger. And guys, this is actually an important lesson, and as cheesy as it is, always be yourself, always do what makes you comfortable, and just know, from me to you, you are perfect just the way you are. Okay, enough with the sappy stuff, let's continue. So we begin to see people getting zapped by Wishmaker and turning their dreams to life, and some of them were hilarious, as we literally saw Jagged turn into a crocodile, someone turned into a cucumber, and we even got to see Marinette and Adrian's dreams. Marinette's dream was to be the knitting fairy, and she looks so good in this outfit. And as for Adrian, his dream was to be what his parents always wanted him to be. Now, before I touch on Adrian's dream, look at Gabriel's face when he realizes Adrian is Cat Noir. This gave me major Cat Blanc flashbacks. So now, while there isn't much to touch on for Marinette's dream, Adrian's dream. So firstly, I just want to point out, since I was also one to be questioning this, as you can see, Emily's eyes are blue in this, and Gabriel's eyes were green, so somebody had actually asked Thomas if this was an animation error or if this was actually intentional, which Thomas replied to by saying it doesn't matter. So for now, I wouldn't worry about that. And when I saw this, I was screaming, because not only do we never get to see Adrian's childhood, but we never get to see Emily. And this moment instantly made me think of the Adrian Sentimonster theory. During the episode, Adrian goes on to strongly evoke that he doesn't remember what his childhood dreams were. And when it was finally unveiled to himself, notice how compared to everyone else's, this was his dream when he was a baby, whereas everyone else's were of them as toddlers. This was just another strong moment in which could be foreshadowing to the fact that Adrian really is a senti-monster, because the fact that his dream was to always be what his parents wanted him to be, the ones who would have designed and created him. And while some may argue that he dreamed of this because Gabriel is so demanding, not only did he say parents, which includes Emily, who would have been the one to create him, but also that he's a baby, not even a toddler, and in a crib. How could one so young already comprehend that this was their purpose and or dream? Now, I should also clarify that this theory has yet to be denied by Thomas, and when he was asked about Ezra debunking the theory, he went on to say, "The actors discover the story as they dub the episodes. As episodes air soon after dubbing, they know approximately the same amount of things as viewers. Everything they may say about what will happen in the future is more their speculations than facts." Thomas has also confirmed that senti-monsters can age, and back when Sabrina was akumatized into Miraculous and cataclysmed Cat Noir, it didn't affect him in the way a cataclysm could because the suits of the Miraculous holders make them nearly invulnerable. And let's also not forget that Thomas himself has said, no difference. If a senti-monster is designed to be human, it is a human, except that he can fall victim to the magical influence of ill-intentioned people. So if Adrian is a senti-monster, he's still human. The only thing that would separate him from the rest is that he's more fragile. And of course, Alec was deakumatized and ended up receiving a magical charm. And you guys, Alec was just amazing this episode. And Thomas even answered someone on Twitter when they asked, "I have a question, is Alec a drag queen now? If not, I just want to know how beautiful and perfect he was on the episode." Which Thomas replied to by saying, "Alec doesn't care about labels anymore." But you guys, now comes some of my boiling theories, and the first one is the fact that now, not only does Luca know Marinette's identity, but he also knows Cat Noir's. And when Ladybug had asked him if her or Cat Noir's identity was revealed, he went on to say no. And guys, the fact that both of the people that currently know Marinette's identity don't have magical charms, we know how concerning this is. The writers of the show know how concerning this is. And all I can think is that this is bound to have consequences in the future, because out of everyone, you would think the people that need to be protected most because they hold Marinette's biggest secret would have magical charms. But now this also leads me into another theory, and it's of the return of Bunnix this season. Surprisingly, we've yet to see her this season, and while she doesn't have to appear in this season, considering how eventful it has been and is going to continue to be, I expect her to make an appearance sometime soon. And so now that Luca knows and had to lie to Marinette about knowing, this really made me think of Cat Blanc and when Adrian found out. Adrian thought he could get away with keeping this secret of knowing Marinette and or Ladybug's identity. And I'm really just questioning if the same thing could go down with Luca. Could the same thing that happened to Adrian come into Luca's path one day? Obviously, they're different scenarios, but Marinette's gonna have to realize one day that Luca actually knows her identity and Cat Noir's identity, and I just don't know if Luca could actually get away with this, as now he has a huge burden to carry on his back. But on a more positive note, I feel like Luca is now kind of the matchmaker between Marinette and Adrian, because at this point, he literally knows they were made for one another. I have no clue what's gonna go down moving forward. And so finally we come to the end screen of this episode, and the biggest thing that I took away from this is that if you look at Marinette, notice how she has a musical note right next to her as her mouth is open, as if she's using her voice. Now we know from the season 4 finale synopsis that it has been hinted to us that there is a chance that Marinette will finally express her feelings to Adrian. And same goes for Crocodile. This finale is going to be like no other, and I cannot wait. Even Ezra and Andre on their lives have gone to say,
oh my god, I am screaming in my body right now, and I'm telling all of my spoils to be shushed, because this episode is definitely one. And when people say, hey Ezra, what's one of your favorite episodes from season 4? I'm like, I can't tell you yet because it hasn't aired. I can't tell you yet because it hasn't aired. And then once your episode airs and then people ask me that question, my answer is not going to be Wishmaker, because the ones I'm working on right now, oh my God, Andre, oh my God, oh my God, this episode I'm working on right now is so good. It's exactly what everybody wants.
Wow.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
It's exciting.
But it's exciting. It's so exciting for me to know that once people see it, once it hits the Miraculous community, oh boy.
And it's so true. This episode was just the beginning of a whole turning point in Miraculous, in the sense that now every episode moving forward is going to get intenser and intenser. And this was the 18th episode. I am sure you guys have heard of the amount of hype going into episode 22, which, if you didn't know, is the 100th episode of Miraculous, which is set to be necessary to watch. And guys, if you thought that was a lot, today is going to be Miraculous Day. Gloob is going to be celebrating it, and not only will we be getting spoilers, but they will be reading an exclusive scene, which I assume will be from a never seen before episode, as there's still some spoiler images such as these ones that we've yet to see take place in an episode. But as always, what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know your thoughts and theories down below, and subscribe so you never miss the tea on the show you love, and I'll see you guys in the next one.